With mines increasingly getting deeper, mining companies are under pressure to control costs while improving efficiency and performance. How do you see this change?
Any mine, no mine can forever remain on the surface, right? Any open cast mine also over time depth will increase. Similarly, underground mine will also go deeper and deeper. In some case of some kind of minerals, as you go deeper, you get better grade of mineral. Some kind of mineral, as you go deeper, you get inferior grade of mineral. So chances are it can go either way. In our case, yes, with depth of mine, not necessarily everywhere grade is bad. The fact that to get more ore, you have to go deeper. And many places, deeper places have got, in some of our mines, deeper places have got better grade of ores. And some of the mines, deeper places have got inferior grade of ore. But what we see mostly is one, if you as you go down, your cost of exploration for us it is lesser because the cost of exploration from surface is much more. You have to explore up to 1 kilometer depth. Whereas in underground, in any case, you will be developing for producing of mineral from there and use that development to do drilling from underground. So by doing drilling from underground, you save the cost of drilling. So that's a plus point. As you go deeper, it is a plus point for us at times. Second, of course, to reduce the cost of mining itself, as we go deeper, we have to make, instead of depending on decline for the trucks to go all the way down below to get the mineral and come to the surface, we have to make shafts. So both in Agucha and in SK mine, in last 3 years, we have invested and we have created material winding in both these places. So there are shafts where there are skips which brings the material up, and that reduces the cost of mining drastically. Not only the cost of mining, also reduces the requirement of equipment, that is mine material carrying trucks and underground, and so many such equipment gets reduced. So we have done that rightly. Then we are looking at next 2 years to get half of our energy or power consumption. Instead of coal, we will switch over to renewable. And in our calculation, renewable will be cheaper than the grid as well as cheaper than the coal, because Rajasthan is not endowed with a lot of coal. 99% of our coal in the thermal power plant that we run are imported. And so if we replace by renewable power, we will get a savings on cost of power and also will become green. We are also going for EV vehicles in the underground, which will reduce the normal vehicles that we use, which are diesel-based equipment. Since IC engines will produce carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide as gases, so we need to change the air in the underground. So continuously, huge amount of ventilation is required. And second, these equipments emit heat, so there is a temperature increase in the underground. So we have to put chiller units in both, say, Agucha and SK mines to cool the air before we send it to the underground. So those expenditures will be far less if we use battery-based equipment which do not emit much heat, neither do they emit poisonous CO or CO2 gases in the underground. So, and also the electric battery-based equipment, our experience has been from outside mining companies across the globe, is the maintenance cost reduces by 25 to 30%. So I think these are the few enablers that we have to ensure that we keep mining as we go deeper in the underground, but we will also continue to remain as a low-cost operator globally.
With the growth of electrical and electronics industry, the demand for zinc and lead is rising rapidly. How is Hindustan Zinc leading the change in zinc and lead mining in India?
As of now, India's total demand of zinc can be 100% met by us. So roughly about 750 or 800 kt zinc that we produce, India consumes about hardly 650 kt of zinc. Right, 650 to 700 kt. About 83% to 84% are supplied by us. So balance 16% people import, because we have got zero import treaty with Korea and Japan. So there is some amount of import that comes from there. And we export also about 20-25% of our product we export. So under that condition, whatever be India's zinc requirement, as we perceive from the various market reports, is likely to grow at 4 to 5% for next 3 to 4 years, primarily based on government's focus on country becoming Atmanirbhar. That means more and more such components, electrical, electronics, mobile manufacturing coming to India instead of buying everything or importing everything. And second is government's focus on more and more infrastructure, which is also more railway bridges, more railway lines, and government understanding that every year about 15 to 20% of the steel consumption is only due to replacement of steel because of corrosion, whether it is in the marine areas or normal railway lines get corroded every year. Huge amount of railway lines need to be replaced just because of corrosion. So more and more galvanization focus, more the cell phone and other manufacturing in India means more consumption of silver, and more automotive in India means more amount of lead acid battery. Also, just to point out here, although the EV vehicles which are coming do have lithium battery, but our report shows it will be much easier and cheaper solution for cars if they have lithium battery for the traction, while they have lead acid battery for their auxiliary power, which is mechanized windows or mirrors and things like that. So altogether, that's a good combination to have for a low cost EV vehicle in India, and I guess that is the way the auto sector is also going.
Sliding productivity amid surging costs remains one of the most pressing challenges for the mining industry. How can the challenge be addressed?
One sure shot enabler in today's world is application of more and more digital technology, and also application of more and more predictive kind of operation. So we have invested last 5 years into a lot of digital enablement of operation, if I may say so, in underground mines of RA mines and SK mines. So many of the equipment are run from the surface. So an equipment which in the shift changeover would not run otherwise because the operator would not be in place, or during blasting in the underground, mandatorily we have to remove people from the underground. So in such cases, many of the equipment are now smart enough, and we are able to operate them on the surface. So we have got more number of operations with lower manpower or lower operator requirement, and more productivity of those equipment. Second, because of digital connectivity, all the equipment are transmitting data uh, like every second, every minute, uh, to a central control room called collaboration center, where there are data scientists who are analyzing the data and predicting what could go wrong going forward and giving the feedback to operating team to take care. So digital application is a big application which is going to improve productivity as well as reduce cost. We are also focusing on quality, ensuring that we have a digital backed TQM practice all across our mines and operations. That means we do everything right the first time. We don't unnecessarily create in process rejects, which again goes into more cost. At the same time, we also don't spend too much of money on manual inspection of the finished goods. So we have put in video analytic based product quality control. So there are video cameras which are seeing the final product, and applying image analysis are able to tell us what is defective, what is not defective, and so you don't spend money on manual inspection. So those are the kind of things that we are doing to keep the costs under check.
In a bid to produce at any cost, many mining companies have invested significant resources into marginal mines that can no longer produce profitably. What kind of insight is required to prevent this?
Capital allocation, one need to be prudent, while one cannot be too conservative, because mining as an industry by itself is, one has to have one deep pocket, one has to have a long-term vision, and one also needs a fair understanding of the risks involved. Of course, all of us feel happy when a miner suddenly, gets ore of a very good quality and makes a lot of money. We all feel very happy, but we don't understand behind that how much of exploration has gone on and how much of money had to be sunk in before even striking gold. So that is the risk a miner has to take. Even in Hindustan Zinc, continuously we are exploring to discover more and more ore, or whatever ore we have discovered. Just to mine that, you need to define the ore body, make a mine plan. For that also a lot of exploration work is needed, which money is a sunk money. After that, you may get good quality ore, you may not get good quality ore. So that is something, but one cannot be risk averse. At the same time, one cannot be completely unaware of the risks involved. So one has to have a very good digital technology based prediction. What are we going to do? Second, we need to have a very good risk management system and processes and systems established which ensures that whenever the mining is done, it is done in a manner that helps you to achieve long-term low cost in your operations. So those are the kind of stuff that is needed. There are people who have taken huge amount of risk especially in the auctions that we are seeing. I guess it's an initial euphoria because mines have just been put under auction. Once maybe one or two or three cycles of auction, and it is already started happening slowly. Slowly, premiums are coming down, and people are taking lesser and lesser risk.
With the increasing concerns about the environmental impact of extraction and processing operations, how do you think the whole work culture of a mining company should be changed in order to achieve the sustainability goal?
Almost all mining companies, and especially Hindustan Zinc, we consider ourselves to be global top two, top three mining companies. So we can't afford to turn a blind eye to anything on environment, right? So we are already Dow Jones Sustainability Index number 5, and we are globally number 1 in environment. We are Asia Pacific number 1 in terms of sustainability. And does that mean that in our operations we are never any parameter violated? Yes, of course they are. It's just like you would be driving cars on the street someday or other, some violations will happen. But does the company have enough of checks and balances to recognize those violations and take corrective actions? Yes, we have. And we also have invested for last 3-4 years millions and millions of dollars in bringing in more state-of-the-art technology to ensure no emission into the atmosphere. We are putting up huge water treatment plants in Jawar mine and Agucha mine, primarily to treat the water that we pump from the underground, and that is a dirty water that we pump out of the ground during mining, and that water we want to clean it and use it in our plants, and to that account don't draw water from the freshwater sources. So that amounts to two mines together itself, it would be close to 12,000 cubic meter per day that we would be saving water and not drawing it from the rivers. We are also using entire Udaipur city. Sewage treatment plant has been made by us and been operated by us, and we take the sewage of entire city and clean it and take the water. About 80% of the water we take it for our operation. So you can imagine, to that account, the water we don't take from the freshwater sources. Uh, are all miners on the same footing like any other sectors of industry? Of course, they are not. But most of the respectable miners in India, take the big names, whether Aditya Birla Group, whether Tata's, whether us, or other companies within Vedanta, everybody are putting in the best foot forward to ensure that we are globally recognized, not just for big size mining company, but also as a sustainable and very sensitive to society mining company.
Moving forward, how do you see the future of the mining industry? How can it leverage new technologies to unlock deposits and improve productivity on the mine site?
Since inception of civilization, only two ways money can grow, as I keep saying: one below the ground and one above the ground. Above the ground is agriculture, below the ground is mining. That is the two places where you make something out of nothing. So either we take it from below ground, or in the agriculture, suddenly you see something growing out of the soil and that gives you something, right? Rest all parts of economy is dependent on that, derivative of that. Either they're a derivative of agriculture or they're a derivative of mining. And the third arm in today's world, what has happened is a service industry, which we used to call it funny money in our language, that you have people making money out of prediction, out of future forecasting, those kind of money, which we are not interested in. If as long as civilization is there, any metal, whatever you use, whatever you substitute by whatever, it has to come from below ground, mining has to go on. So that's given. The only question is, The mining of tomorrow will be much less, human oriented. It will be much more technology oriented. Much more I can see in underground mining, maybe 30-40% will be robotic mining. And at the phase where the danger is there, more and more robots will work, whether it is drilling. Today we can operate drills from surface. So tomorrow for all drilling activity in the underground, one need not go to underground. There will be robots which will be doing the phase charging, dangerous working. A lot of maintenance analysis would be done from the surface. Many machines will be intelligent enough to repair itself, do small repairs by itself. So those are the technologies that are developing. Like in case of EV vehicle, one design of machines that we are getting where the equipment changes its own battery to keep running. So imagine that itself is next generation, right? When it's something like a human being changing their own heart without going to hospital. So the equipment knows my battery is going down. It goes to a place, drops the battery, picks up a battery, and again keeps running. So that's the kind of things which are happening. So mining will continue. It will continue with lot of digital and robotic technology, and people would really see a mine as a not those Kalapathar days mine. It will be more of completely technology oriented mining, which people would be operating from fantastic offices, which will never look like a mining office. So that's my vision.